My game is finally getting a huge visual boost with new assets, as before it looked like this, and now it looks like this. Okay, but what exactly changed? I added a couple of new assets, textures, and improved the lighting system. Again, lighting is a never-ending story with this game, but one day I'll make it right. I'm not the best developer, especially not in 3D, but I'm trying to get better, learn new stuff, and make progress in my horror indie game. Okay, my bad progress aside, let me show you new cool things added to the game. So last time I had only this tunnel and a lab at the end of it. Oh, and that retro standing shelf. But right now my underground cave finally starts to look like a proper underground facility as I wanted it to look in the first place. So let me start with the entrance to the game. We've got a simple box that later will be filled with assets and also an elevator. This place will most likely be the tutorial zone where I'll try to show new players basic mechanics in the game, the mechanics we did in the last devlog. Make sure to check it out. And to this room I connected a very long tunnel, and there is a logic behind that. Let me quickly explain it. This is going to be my starting area where a player will be locked only for a couple of minutes, and this tunnel is separating this small area from the big one that is the main part of the game, to make a big impression on the player right after learning the basics about this game. Think about great games and you'll quickly notice a pattern at the start. This concept is often used in those games. Let me give you a few examples. Like in Skyrim, after running in a narrow cave system, at the beginning of the game, you get to see the light, and that feels very refreshing and freeing. And also, it made a huge impression on me at the first time when I was playing it. This was also the case in other Elder Scrolls, also in Elden Ring and Zelda Breath of the Wild. Every single time I get to experience it, it makes a huge positive impact on my perspective of the game. That's why I decided to do that in my game as well. Of course, on a smaller scale. But hey, we all need to start somewhere. Okay, right after the entrance tunnel, I added a small assets like a fence and lamps. The fence is here to protect the player from falling into the abyss, as this game will be very dark and sometimes unintentional steps could lead to splashing into the water. And we don't want that. Also, I don't plan to add jumping to the game. Lamps are here to make use of that nice lighting system. As for this asset, I was forced to improve lighting in the game and it turned out quite well. But I can tell you from my experience that we'll get into the lighting in this game a couple of more times in the future. Let's jump to another room. A new warehouse where something important will be. But don't force me to tell you everything at this point. Please let me have at least some part of the game covered with mystery. Oh, and let me say that I'm not doing all of this alone, as I have nice support from my partner, who is making those assets for this game. I believe the current scope would be too much for me alone. Okay, and the last and biggest asset is right behind us, as it is an apartment. At least I will call it that. Maybe it doesn't look like one, but the purpose of it will be similar to social quarters. It's very empty at the moment, maybe with a small exception, that is this toilet. And I'm not exactly sure why we started with the toilet, as I can't remember. And this is one of the mysteries connected to this game. One day this place will be filled with assets, but even this state will let me code a few things in here. I'm thankful to you if you reached to this point of the video, as it means a lot to me. If you like game dev content like that, then consider subscribing or liking this video, as it also helps me. Thanks. Also, remember that this channel is not focused on a single game engine, as I want to focus more on a broad term that is game development, rather than only a small part of it. But let's get back to my project. Except those assets, I tried to add a few textures to the terrain to make it visually more attractive. But I'm not happy with that, as those textures made the game fall a bit too much into the orange colors. And my idea was to keep it in the combination of gray and blue colors. So I'll definitely get back to the textures very soon. So this time it was way less coding and more about visuals. Let me know if there is something you would like me to improve or change in the current state of the game. And while I'm making more game dev content for this YouTube channel, you can check out my other game dev videos here.